Greetings, Ontario. We are Twin Cities Save the Kids. We want to thank you for inviting us to come and speak to you today about the work that Save the Kids nationally is doing. A special thank you to Kable for inviting us to be a panel in this wonderful event. I'm going to start by just mentioning that Save the Kids is an organization that was founded by incarcerated youth. We are a completely non-profit. What that means is we're not registered with the government. We don't accept grants. We take, in-kind donations from individuals, but we do not in any way answer to any organization. We answer to our convictions and our beliefs, and that is rooted in the abolition of prisons, specifically working on the abolition of youth prisons for us. When we're talking about the nonprofit industrial complex, we're talking about one of the many systems that creates this imprisonment that we actually call slavery. We don't believe that we have prisoners in this country. We believe that we have slaves due to the prison industrial complex, which makes money off of having bodies in cells. We don't have bank accounts. Everything we do is volunteer-based. We take the donations that we have, we take the resources that we have as individuals, and we collectively bring those together to get this work done, to educate people, to go out and work with the youth, and to do our best to create change. What we focus on is the idea of transformative justice. The justice system in the United States right now is not about transforming lives, and it's not about acknowledging the victims in every single circumstance. Most of the work out in the mainstream justice system has this idea that there is only one victim in every crime. We understand that anybody involved in a crime is a victim in one way, shape, or form. Healthy people don't commit acts of violence. Healthy people don't rob, steal. Healthy people don't tear apart their communities. They are wounded, they are traumatized, they are victims of the systems and the culture that we have collectively allowed and created. So with the work we're doing, we want to make sure that we are addressing the root causes of these situations and doing whatever we can to create opportunities for people to transform their lives, to become healthy, and to become productive and engaged. So next, I'm going to introduce someone else on our panel. His name is Reynolds. He is a new member to Save the Kids. He comes to us from an organization called Progress Foundation. So I'm going to turn it over to Luke.
Thank you, Mysnikol.
You're welcome.
So, as she had said, my name is Luke, and I've been working with Save the Kids for about half a year now. I met them at a 40 years and a mic event, which was a fundraising event for Save the Kids, or working with Save the Kids. They had a table there, and I thought it was a very compelling cause. So, jumped on with them. Ever since, I've been working to help fund and help support funds for Save the Kids with joint fundraising events as well, the prospect of future events to help support the funds. I really believe in the cause that we're here for. I've been adamant in the same realm of work ever since I began activism a few years ago. It's always been my personal course of belief that our best actions would be taken towards trying to reform the system rather than trying to reform the people within the system. So with that, with the organization that I have been working with, Progress Foundation, and that I have worked to help found, we are trying to do the exact same from an organizational level, supporting nutrition, education, as well as employment and housing. So I believe that with my work with Save the Kids collectively and all of the other organizations within the Twin Cities and within the nation, we can really make an impact on the school-to-prison pipeline and on a lot of the negative aspects of our culture and begin to take responsibility for the negative realm that our culture has created. So I'm going to turn it over to Reid Romero, hip-hop activist as well as member of Save the Kids, and he's going to pick up and tell you a little bit more about the relationship with hip-hop and activism.
Thank you, Luke. I know I don't have that much time to talk. Thanks, Ontario, for having us. So when KRS-One broke down the word hip-hop, he broke it into two frames. So hip basically means you're hip to something, you're intelligent, you have intelligence of that, you have knowledge of that, and hop is the form of movement. So hip hop is what he was describing was intelligent movement. To be an effective hip hop activist, first, I think that you must have a keen sense of hip hop history. Not only just as a listener of hip hop, but something that you have lived your whole life, such as I have. Also, to have a genuine love for hip hop culture as a whole. So whether that be backpack rap or any kind of genre of rap that things are boxed into, that you have respect for, and you know that different people like different types of hip hop. Some things that I wrote down, if you're thinking of hip, which means your intelligence level or your knowledge of something, we need to teach youth their knowledge of their rights pertaining to themselves and the laws that govern them. Whether it's involving police, involving healthy living styles, the dangers of fast food, things like urban farming. We have to teach the youth about being hip or knowledgeable to that. And then with the hop, that's the action where you can't lay on your couch all day. You have to get out there. A good hip hop activist should be visible in the community, should be out in the streets, should be someone that people know and can relate to. It should be a people person. Organizing frequent panel discussions between the different hip hop people in your city or neighborhoods to discuss how they can be beneficial to the youth and society as a whole is a good way to have hip hop activism, and having follow up with those people that are on panel discussions on what have they done, and after the panel, it's not just talking but actually implementing, and that's hop, so action. So remembering fallen soldiers, people that have passed away in the hip hop community, Old Dirty Bastard, Jam Master Jay, Jay Dilla. I mean, the list goes on. And remembering those, actually even trying to create national holidays for those individuals. Have a keen sense and love for all the elements of hip hop, whether it's producing, MCing, DJing, or graph writing, or knowledge, or a lot of different other elements. Tap into your community resources. Use what you got to get what you want type of mentality. If no one has a space, then we'll just have a party right in the streets. And that's how it began. It began in the park. So we have to have that mentality. If you want to have a protest or a discussion, you can have it in a parking lot. You can have it in a park. You can have it in places that you don't have to necessarily rent out. Tap into self-reliance techniques. And also have good relations with other genres of music within your city or state. So have a connection with the rock community, with the reggae community, and jazz and pop people around in your community. So because essentially hip hop is all those things put into what we have created. So also have a keen sense of beefs between gangs and cliques in your city, and try and resolve those conflicts through hip hop, through the elements of hip hop. That is another great way to use hip hop as a force and a tool to keep kids out of prison. And let's see, things, create outlets for youth to self-express. Whether that be open mics, whether that be radio stations such as Save the Kids Radio, bring people on and create outlets for self-expression, and that could be anywhere. It could be indoors, it could be outdoors, it could be anywhere. Those are just some of the things that hip-hop activism is about. And right now I'll pass it over to Kable Reid, who is from the Hip Hop Coalition here in Minnesota and Zulu Nation. Kable.